I hope you guys enjoyed last Saturday's episode. We had special guest Miss Cheetah and the Lady Cheese. If you didn't get a chance to watch that, go tune back in on YouTube. You can catch those episodes there. But we're here, baby. We had a good time in Charlotte. Me and the Cheese got to hang out. We were miles and miles away, but as soon as we get back together, man, it's like it never missed a beat. So
Never missed a beat. Speaking about beats, let's start it with some good vibes. Hey, Top Dollar Sign's new album. Just a little shout out. Me and Ty Dollar Sign are real cool. So I just want to put his stuff on our show.
Yeah, so usually on Thursdays what we do is we go in, we talk about kind of what happened on Monday, and we didn't get a recap of everything. We also didn't go live Monday because I was still in Charlotte. But people know what happened on Sunday, obviously. So we're going to go ahead and skip just like a regular week, talk about what happened on Monday night, and then get into tonight's game, and then go over the questions that you guys filled out for us. So without further ado, let's talk about those Chicago Bears versus those Los Angeles Rams. Cheese, what you got on that?
Man, it was good defensive play through the whole first of the game. Chicago Bears defensive line is scary, man. It's scary, and they can hit on all cylinders. But the linebacker core and the defensive backfield, for me, started getting suspect toward later in the game. Los Angeles Rams, man, the way they boot backside and play action, the way they send things in motion, everything they set up. We've been saying it podcast after podcast after podcast. They set it up beautiful, and they run it through so many different formations to the field and the boundary. So they started literally gassing that defense for Chicago, and that was the main point that was the win, in my opinion, for the Rams. I want to check the stats right now though for Nick Foles. 2 interceptions. I knew he threw about 1 or 2. 2 interceptions, 261 yards. It still Foles. I don't think him or Trubisky's the answer for them. They had a little bit better quarterback. They're a lot more scarier, in my opinion. But defense got burned out a little bit, and Rams had a great game plan coming in, man. Put them both at 5-2. So
yeah. What's up, T-Ram? How you doing, man? Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to go out and say that the Rams beat bad offenses. The Rams have a really good defense. When they play another really good defense, they usually end up on top because it's a bloodbath. Right, battle of the trenches. You got Aaron Donald and things like that. But Chicago's offense obviously has been struggling, like you say. I don't think either one of them is the answer quarterback. They probably get drafted quarterback this year, even though they might even trade up. I think a trade is very, very possible for these guys, especially if they just barely make playoffs, because they still are 4-2.
5-2.
5-2. My bad. So 5-2. They're in the right direction, And in your division, they're right behind Green Bay. So anything could happen. Still a long season. Nick Foles could get it together, but he just does not look good in the past couple of weeks. I don't know if they should go back to Mitch or what, but Matt Nagy, you got your hands full, buddy. Good luck. Moving on. I hate it.
Real quick, though, talking about that division, one thing that's going to be really fun to watch, though, even though I hate both teams, is when Chicago plays Minnesota, because Kirk Cousins and Nick Foles are still kind of like, to me. And the defenses are where it's at, and especially if Cook's back. So that was going to be a pretty fun one.
Yeah, and if their defense actually starts clicking, man, Aaron Rodgers is going to have a tough time with him.
Yeah, I ain't worried about Chicago.
And Chicago. Yeah, I got to talk my junk about the Packers. Anyways, tonight's game of the week, baby. All right, game of the week. I'm just kidding. It's not the game of the week, but it's one of my favorite teams. Panthers going in there. Game of today. Thursday nights. They got a little division rivalries and whatnot. So going into tonight, Teddy Bridgewater, he lit them up last time they played. This is the second time playing. Mike Davis ran really hard at the end. We burned probably like 8 to 10 minutes right there in the fourth quarter down. We just played that offense and won by a touchdown. We played real good ball control. Tonight, I think it's going to be a little bit different because now you got the film. You know what each other wants to do. And I hope the Falcons don't know what to do with us. But at the end of the day, they are in the NFL. They are good coaches, and they just fired their head coach. So they won their first game last week, and their offense is still one of the top offenses in the league. Your favorite play breakdown? Yeah, that would be cool. Clark Kent. He's saying that we should do a favorite play breakdown. And it just take a lot. I need somebody to manage all this stuff. So if you want to be my manager and just click on some other things and pop it up, that'd be cool. Well, I'd have to have some applications, because we're doing a good thing. But anyways, going back to the game, our defense, they're young. They're going to step up. They're going to be prepared. Todd Gurley doesn't look the same in my eyes. Hayden Hurst doesn't look like a number one tight end coming out of Baltimore this whole year. And then you still got Julio Jones on the edge. You got Calvin Ridley. So I'm a little bit nervous with our corners. But at the end of the day, we got to get pressure on Matt Ryan. If he gets pressure, we end up winning that game, and Teddy Bridgewater game manages for the dub. Panthers by 9 is what Tanner's saying. I'm saying probably about 3.5.
All right. So you're going Panthers?
Yes, sir.
Now, I am located not too far from the stadium, but I'm going to go against you right now just because of my point spread. I'm down by 2. I do not want the Falcons to win by any means. The only reason I'm going to pick them is just because of this thing that we're doing. All right. Panthers is a great team, and I want them to keep going and make it 500 after this game. But the only thing is they played twice. I know the Panthers came out on top of that one time, but they did get beat by Chicago's offense that I think is even worse than what a Falcons offense could be. Now, Chin is going and doing outrageous things, but tonight for the Falcons to win –
Rookie of the Year candidate. I'm just going to go out there and say it. Rookie of the Year candidate. What's up, Julian? You know how it is.
Yeah, he could be, for sure. But, damn, I lost the train of thought.
I interrupted
you. Yeah, so the Falcons, I mean, Chin is doing great things, but Julio Jones and Ridley have to get things done tonight. I think, Bridgewater is definitely a game manager, but I think at times, too, we've seen over the years that Ryan can do the same thing. Now, they've lost tons of things and lost comebacks or leads and all that stuff, and I'm not even going to get into all that stuff, but we have seen clips and we have seen short things that Matt Ryan has done some good things over the past. He's not like an amazing quarterback, but still, he has. So if you can get that done tonight, all right, and if the Panthers defense play like they did against Chicago's offense, then I think it's going to be a hard time for y'all's defense to be able to keep things as close as what they should be. It's a rival game. It's Atlanta's already lost one. That's another reason why I'm kind of leaning toward Atlanta, because a lot of time and you see a lot of 1-1s when it comes to these rival games, and on top of that, a divisional game. And the defense for Atlanta, like I was trying to say, they just have to be there. They just have to be sustainable. And
they've been there. They just can't make plays.
Well, that's not being there. They have to be there and make the plays. And we'll see if they can do that against these really great receiving core that they have. And I don't know, man. It's going to be I think this game is going to be an absolute damn dogfight, and it's going to be a great one to watch. Deep down in my heart, I want Carolina to win. But I'm going to pick the Falcons on this one because they've already got – if the Falcons would have won last week or the first time that they played the Panthers, I'd damn sure be picking the Panthers. But just with all those things combined, I go Falcons. I think they squeak one by and try to at least put a little bit of girth to their name and organization.
Well, I think it's going to be a good game just because it's divisional. We got old Clark Kent saying what happened with the Todd Gurley TD. He ended up – stumbling at the one and scoring, which gave Detroit the momentum and the time needed to go down to the other end and score. You leave 40-something seconds left on the clock for Matthew Stafford.
He did that at L.A. too. He's done that before.
He's done it many a times. I think he's like top 5 in the league of comeback kids, basically. So he should have just fell. You're right. They should have won that game. Charles Tanner, he jacked up. He was trying to be smart, but he just couldn't stop his big butt, because he was getting old. He's getting older, guys. I don't know if you noticed that. His 2 touchdowns came from inside the one, and then one that was that 10-yard run. He just don't look like the same guy. So that's what happened. Tanner says, don't say girth. Juan says Falcons by 10. You are
he said
on one.
That's not worse than girth.
Come back. Yeah. Okay. So it's going to be a good game regardless. I can't wait to watch it. Obviously, I'm a huge Panthers fan.
Always dog fights when these two teams play, man. And I love watching these two teams play. I don't care what the records are, and it don't even matter what the records are. And another thing, The running back that's been running really well for y'all, Gurley knows him. He didn't play college ball in Atlanta, but he's like from Atlanta and things like that. So they've known each other for a while, and I think the other guy got one up on Gurley. So I think Gurley's going to try his best to at least run like he's 3 years younger than what he actually is. So we'll see.
So just a fantasy outlook for you guys. I would definitely start the Carolina receivers. Okay, Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore are basically must starts this week just because they wrecked them the first week. And DJ Moore is actually trying to find a rhythm. He's established rhythm the past couple of games, even though we're 3-4. They look pretty good. I love what Joe Brady's doing. He's calling the right plays, getting us in the right positions. We just can't hardly ever put in the end zone like the Chiefs or those high-scoring football teams that we need to do.
Yeah.
I just hope we just start clicking and then we get a momentum shift. We got a bye week coming up here, I think, in week 9. McCaffrey's not playing tonight. He was on the iffy with it, but they are marking him down as out. I'm excited to see him come back next week or even after the bye. It's definitely going to help my fantasy football team tremendously.
And your real football team.
Exactly. And I'm not
totally different if he was playing tonight by far.
The other side of the equation, Atlanta's offense. I think you do start Matt Ryan and Julio Jones this week. Calvin Ridley is, I don't know. He's one of those iffy guys because if Julio's having a good game, he's going to kind of slack off. If Julio's getting doubled, then Calvin Ridley's going to step up. So that's a toss-up right there. I don't think you could start both of them, maybe, but I think our defense is pretty solid. We're going to put pressure on Matt Ryan, and it's going to be almost another low-scoring game because our style of offense is move the sticks, burn the clock, stay on top, and play good defense.
Whoever the turnover ratio is what will win or lose this game. Whoever turns the ball over at least once or twice, that's it. I think, in my opinion, because I think the spread is not far enough to make it to where, hell, we know Atlanta can't come back. They've been getting beat by 30, 20-something point leads. So I think the turnover ratio is a big key, and especially with that, the Atlanta defensive backfield is absolutely sorry. So that scares the piss out of me, but I don't know. We'll see.
So Cheetah's going Panthers. The Cheese is going Falcons. Maybe I'll go up by 3 games, going into Saturday's picks. Just so you guys know, we do have another special guest coming on here. He's a Vikings fan, so make sure you tune in for that one. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of junk talk with the Cheese right there. It's going to be a fun one. And it's also Halloween. If you didn't notice the background right now, I hope I gave you something a little bit different, some so you can enjoy having a Halloween, holidays or getting in the festive spirit. Love it. But we're going to go ahead and get to these Week 8 questions that we sent out at the beginning of the week. Okay. Cheese, do the Raiders lose to the Brownies? Did you pick that?
I don't think they do. I like what the Raiders are doing. The Browns have to kind of dig themselves out a little bit right now, and the Browns can do some good things. But I think right now what the Raiders are doing, I'm happy with it. I'm impressed with it. I'm impressed with Carr. I'm impressed with the play calls that Gruden are doing. They're kind of just like the Panthers for you, dude. They're just a few big plays away of winning these games. And I think the Browns are still the same team that has a bunch of, handful of crybabies that are going to wind up shooting themselves in the foot compared to a team that's trying to put a solid new organization out there in Las Vegas. So, no, I think the Raiders get it done.
Yeah, so 57% said Raiders barely end up winning at plus 2.5. So the sports books got Raiders as underdogs versus the Brownies. 26% say Josh Jacobs bounces back from a poor showing and the Raiders easily win, making sports bettors happy. So I think I voted for that one. I just think if you go money on the Raiders, it's not dumb because it is the Browns and they just lost Odell. But the Browns are shocking people this year. And then we had 15% say the Browns get it done because Mayfield plays well. I think he does play well just because Odell's gone and probably not begging for the ball. Rashad Higgins, I think his name is, or something Higgins, is now the next receiver in line. So if you picked him up on fantasy waiver wire, he might do something good for you. The tight end, Austin Hooper, is also out for the Browns. So the rookie, Harrison Bryant, he's like 6'5", 260. He's about to go in. He just had a heck of a day last week. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting. But I do think that Las Vegas ends up pulling that one out. If you lose to the Browns right now, Oh man, that's gonna be harsh. Okay, next question. Steelers versus Ravens. Does Lamar dethrone the undefeated Steelers?
Yo,
This is
I'm
gonna be a
not
good
going
one.
to have this, even in the, I guess I am. But I had too much time to even look or think on that. Can he? Yes. Could he? Yes. Will he? I love that defense at Pittsburgh, man. I love it, but I also see the Ravens giving the Steelers a hard time with what they're doing because they're a team that likes to do a lot of coverages and blitzes. All right, they try to cover them so you don't know what's going. They'll line everybody up at the line. They'll send 4 and drop everybody else. Sometimes they'll send 5, drop 1, but they have 6 across the line. So yeah, he could, but he's not playing like he did as much to me last year. So I say no. I'm still keeping faith with the Steelers defense just because I love it so much. And but hell yeah, he could gash it, dude. So I don't know. I'm 50-50. Just don't even mark me for one of those.
Yeah, well, so are the viewers. We had 53% say Ravens play well-rounded football and end up pulling it out, tying the division lead. And then 46% or 47% say Steelers stay undefeated, controlling the AFC North division. I like the Steelers too. I love that defense, but man, you go and you mess up one of those blitzes because you're dropping back in coverage and you got a pulling guard come and clock you. That running game for the Ravens is gonna be the make or break. It's not gonna be Lamar. It's gonna be how good can they establish that running game up the middle.
See, I think when they try to run those blitzes and stuff inside the tackle, and we'll see how which is what they've been doing. If he gets outside, then there's nobody there. You've already got the middle of your field already blitzing between the tackles. So I think if they do gash him, I think it is Lamar. So we're a little bit different on that one, but they do have to definitely establish a run game. But hell, him rolling outside the tackle, you can't blitz as much against Lamar. You can't. So now you're dumbifying the Pittsburgh Steelers and what they're great at. No. Because you can't do that.
We're sitting here talking about the Steelers defense. What about that Ravens defense? I see you over there, Kaylee. She's saying Steelers D.
Yeah, I like Steelers D.
Ravens defense. The Ravens defense is also really, really good. They just got the top. They just signed the top corner and what's his name? Number 40. I already forgot his name. Humphrey.
Yeah, they're good. They still don't impress me as much as Pittsburgh's right now, though.
It's a divisional game again. What'd you say?
I said, and it's just off of play calling to me. To be honest with you, on paper, I don't really give a shit. It's the person that's also taking the people he has and calling those plays, and I love the way the Steelers call their defense, man.
Yeah, I think that's two teams, awesome coaching, awesome players for the teams. I can't wait to watch that one. That's probably going to be the one I watch instead of Carolina because Carolina plays tonight. Ooh, some exciting games this weekend. Divisional. Oh, it's getting to that point in the season where all these games are starting to matter a lot more and more. Okay, so the next question, kind of referring to the same game, was do you see more defense or offense in the Steelers versus Ravens? We had 50% say offense. We had 38% say defense. And then 11% say that special teams wins the game because field position and the turnovers. That's a very interesting one. I threw that one on there just to see if anybody would choose that one. I do think field position does play a huge role in that, but I think it's going to be a lot more defensive. Just personally, I think there's going to be turnovers too, but defense probably is a...
Is the question asking what are we going to see more when we watch or what the game is going to be based upon?
It's going to be what the game...
Are you talking about what we see the most with our eyes or what is the difference maker in these games or in this game?
Yeah, what we're going to see more of. Are we going to see more defense or are we going to see more offense? More points or less points, basically?
I think there's a handful of 3 and outs on both sides, but I also still do think that offense is getting a rhythm. So that being said, it's a defensive game, but I think we'll see a little bit more offense just to try to get things done and people trying to adjust and manage and things like that and make adjustments coaching wise. So I think we'll see more offense out on the field, but it's by far going to be a defensive game.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, that's going to be a real interesting one. So, next one, we got the 49ers versus Seahawks, another divisional game this week. It's the Battle of the West Coast. What happens? The answers I gave, Arizona exposed Seattle. 49ers get a big win to be back in the running for the division. 20% say that. 20% also say both are good. This is a toss-up. And then the other one, the Patriots pooped the brick. That win was a fluke. Seattle's a way better team and wins this game. 60% of you guys think Seattle will be the top team in the West Coast. Arizona did expose them a little bit, but they blew a 10-point lead over there in the fourth quarter with 4 minutes left to go. I do think Seattle goes in there and wins that game, especially an injury-depleted 49ers team.
Yeah, Russell's pissed. I'm with Seattle, and that's it, period, point blank. Russell's pissed, and Russell's good, and he's going to find a way, and so is DK. DK's going to – I don't know if DK stays in here is just as long as Megatron did, but while he's in here, he's about to eat stuff up. So Seattle is pissed off and ready to come out swinging, kind of like Green Bay did when they got punched in the mouth by Tampa, and I think they come out pretty much the same way.
Well, speaking of Russell and Jimmy G, which of these quarterbacks play better? 61% say Russell versus the 49ers. Only 3% say Jimmy G versus the Seahawks. We also had Josh Allen versus the Patriots and Lamar Jackson versus Steelers. 23% say Josh Allen versus the Patriots, which is the next highest besides Russell. And then you got Lamar over there at 11% playing the Steelers. So I think I did go ahead and pick Russell as well. Just 49ers defense isn't the same without all those star guys. Which one did you go with?
Yeah, I'm still with Russell, dude. Russell's pissed off. He's going to come back on a vengeance and have a great ass game. He's going to have a great ass game. I don't. That dude don't take. He might get beat, but he don't take off weeks. And when you look at, I would never even compare Jimmy G to Russell Wilson. I don't give a shit if they made the Super Bowl. To be honest with you, like that, they are not the same. That's a totally different class. They're in different grades right now. To me, like Jimmy G, I'm not even going to compare him to Russell Wilson. So yeah, Russell Wilson get that shit done.
Tanner, you probably are right. Craig, what's that 3% that picked Jimmy G just because he's a homer? That's funny that you mentioned that. Craig, if you're out here watching, we're talking junk about you. You're welcome.
I love Craig.
Yeah, I do too. I'm going to his house for Halloween. Hey,
I'm picking my picks.
Speaking,
it just can't be emotional on here.
Yeah. Speaking of Saturday, we do have a special guest, but I'm gonna throw my costume on just for you guys, and you can see what I'm rocking. If you didn't see it already. Last question. It really wasn't a question. It is a question. Did you see DK Metcalf chase Buda Baker down? And then I chose pick your favorite answer. I said MFer was scooting. Didn't get a chance to see it. He showed his love for the football all on that one play. He's Calvin Johnson 2.0 and then the best wide receiver around in years. Like I said, pick your favorite answer. 52% of people like the MFer was scooting. The next highest is actually a tie. Didn't get a chance to see it. So if you didn't get a chance to see it, please go look that highlight up. That man is literally flying. Probably, I think it was the fastest miles per hour that we've seen in a game this year. And then the other it tied with, he showed his love for football and all in that one play. I agree. I picked that one because whenever I was in high school, I don't know if you remember junior year, Tanner, Brevard, we actually were punting and the punt got blocked or something, and I was at left wing and I had to go all the way to the opposite side of the field. Man, I didn't give up. And then we get them at like 1st and 5, our defense, goal line stand, baby. And that was like a bunch of momentum going in our direction. So I picked that one. Love football. I don't see a lot of people in the NFL just actually giving all that effort, especially when he's that far ahead. I love it, dude. That's just amazing. Interview for coaching. That's awesome. Good luck on your interview, Tanner. Tanner said he's got a coaching interview tomorrow. Are you in the Charlotte area?
I told him personally, I was like, just do it.
Yeah. That's dope, dude. Yeah. And football, getting in there, getting these kids together, just us being coaches as well, it's life-changing, You don't get compensated enough as we should, I would say. But, dude, it ain't about that. It's about going out there and having these kids, giving them life lessons.
Yeah.
And just creating.
It's about finding what you love and finding someone to pay you for it. I love eating hot wings, but there's not a company out there that's going to pay me to eat freaking hot wings. So that's what it's all about. I love coaching football, so I found somebody to pay me for what I love to do. So you should definitely pursue that because it is a good gig. Find somebody that pays you that you're good at and what you enjoy to do, because that's very rare in this world. But that being said, I put that MF for scooting. That's what I picked, because the last Avengers, when at one of the very last scenes when Black Panther and Captain America was like running out in that battle and they were running like freaking gazelles across the field, that's what he looked like. He looked like that last scene of Avengers. And so I had to pick that MF for scooting, dude. He looked like a combination of Black Panther and Captain America. That dude was gone, man. So
yeah, that's funny.
But that question is kind of like an SAT question, because he's got the love for the game. He's a Calvin Johnson 2.0. You should have put a number 5, all the above.
Oh yeah,
that dude's a beast, man. It's because his last name.
Well, Tanner, if you do need anything, he said he's going to go apply to be the wide receivers, tight ends, and DNs coach. If you need anything wide receiver wise, man, I got a lot of stuff that I can give you and share with you. See what I do if you're interested. If not, do your own thing. It's all good, man. Juan says he's sexy as hell, but doesn't get paid to model. So that's a lie.
Yeah, dude. Don't talk about me like that on the internet.
Yeah. Well, it is what it is. Tonight's matchup, Panthers versus Falcons, it's going to be a good one. We will get back on here Saturday. Usually Thursday's a little bit shorter. I didn't want to review all of last week just because everybody's probably already seen it. They've listened to all their other podcasts. If you haven't, and I didn't want to just, take too much time out of your day. I appreciate you guys tuning in. For those that are watching. What you
PBS, we don't remember half the games. Let's be real.
Or that.
Shout out to your cousin Mikey for that one.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. We had a good old time in show, that's for sure. So we'll see you guys Saturday. Make sure you tune in. It's gonna be a fun one. We love you guys.
Peace out.
Cheetah and the Cheese.